guys, it's your girl, Heather Listy with Addison Net in the Real Agent Now group. In this video, you're going to learn everything there is to know about living in North Portland. So stay tuned. Hey guys, if you're thinking about moving to the Pacific Northwest, make sure you reach out to us.
Give us a call, give us a message, however you want to get a hold of us.
Yes.
We want to hear from you. We are helping people from all over the country relocate to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, right, Listy?
Absolutely. Also, make sure you tap that subscribe button so you're notified every time there's a new video.
All right, so there's a huge misperception about my beloved neighborhood, right, Listy?
There is, absolutely. Some people don't like the NoPo, but I love North Portland. You know, it is so charming. It is your hood. This is you, Addie. This whole video, listen to my man Addison Net here.
Yeah, it's weird when you call me Addison too, because everyone calls me Addie.
I know,
but
right?
It's okay. The official name is just fine. But really, just to go right to it, you can really look up anything you want to read about North Portland. The truth is 10, 15, 20 years ago, North Portland wasn't the safest area to be in. And it is still up and coming. Like there are still areas that are good and bad. So it's important to work with a local team that's not only emotionally, but financially invested in the neighborhood you're moving into.
Absolutely.
So the quick run through though is I always give the example, the Pearl District, which is the shiny area of downtown, was also not a great area to live in.
No,
that has
it's
been
not.
completely restored. North Portland serves a lot of the same opportunities. About 2.5 years ago, my wife and I made a move over there for our primary residence, all to take advantage of the last quadrant of Portland, because you've got Northwest, right, which is the Pearl District up into the hill, Bethany, Forest Heights. Then you've got the South area, Southwest, so expanding in from Multnomah Village all the way to Tigard. Your east side, so southeast and northeast, but the North Portland's rarely talked about. It's this little wedge up on the bluff that overlooks everything, and it's one of my favorite areas to be on. University of Portland is one of the top nursing schools in North America. I think it ranked like number
15, I think.
It might have squeezed into the top 15. Where that campus is absolutely gorgeous, and it overlooks this bluff that you can see almost every bridge from the most north point all the way down the Willamette River. And yes, that's Willamette. How do some people say it?
Willamette.
Yeah.
It's not Willamette.
Yeah,
it's Willamette. Yeah, it's stunning. It's really gorgeous. It's breathtaking.
And there's a couple of different spots. Now, if you're looking at the North Portland area, it really goes, Listy, from the I-5 portion, which is going to be the most eastern part of North Portland, all the way up to St. John's, which is a very iconic bridge. There's actually a lot of television shows filmed down at that park. It's very cool, but that span from east to west creates kind of, where you want to be. So within those buckets, you have Kenton. That is the most eastern part. Kenton's a charming little downtown area. I love going to Fino's Pizzeria. There's a great Mexican restaurant right on that strip. There's a beautiful park. There's the Max Rail that runs.
Can we just talk about the awesome, ginormous Paul Bunyan statue in Kenton?
And they actually put a mask on it during the pandemic.
Oh, they did? I like it.
Huge
I like
mask.
it. It's very cool.
To me, I love going down there to pick up food, socialize, whatever that might be. I don't necessarily want to live right off that area. And the reason being is public transportation with the Max line is right there. And often that brings a certain, what's the proper way to say it? Certain activity.
There's some riffraff.
There's some riffraff over there, right? But if you actually span, say, a quarter mile just west of that Kenton area, you're starting to hit some really nice, affordable homes. The Kenton right off the spot, I wouldn't want to be there, but Lombard that runs from Kenton all the way through these parts up to St. John's is a major through street. So note that Lombard's something that you don't want to be right off of that busy road.
Yeah.
And if you're just a standard Redfin or Zillower, you're going to see those types of homes there, and they're going to be a great deal for a reason because it's on a really busy street. My next note listing would be North Columbia. North Columbia is a highway. Speed limit of 45 to 50, I believe. Don't want to be right off North Columbia. That's also where the trains run. So it's important to know where these little buckets are. Just a little bit off Kenton's just fine. Arbor Lodge neighborhood, really, really sought after. It's super close to the Adidas World campus, which most people only know Nike because that's Portland.
And Adidas is there. Adidas' headquarters are in North Portland.
It's a beautiful campus. They just tripled it in size, and it integrates well within the entire neighborhood. There's bike and walking paths that go right through all the buildings. It's not secure. It's safe, but it's not blocked or fenced off. A really cool area, and you have these gorgeous views. Now, Willamette Boulevard runs all the way from Adidas campus up to the University of Portland I was just talking about, and then to St. John's. So if you're going to look in the middle quadrant, I'd want you to be probably between Lombard and University of Portland. And let me tell you why I like this, Listy.
Yeah.
Rentability.
Yes. Huge rentability, especially, and this is something we talk about a lot with our buyers. A lot of people are looking to either buy their first home and then they want to turn it into an investment property, or they're looking for investment properties right off the bat. And North Portland is always one of our go-tos because one, you have to think about the University of Portland there. I mean, you do have a lot of people doing yearly rentals because they're going to college there. So we've got that, but you also have contract workers for Adidas that are coming in. I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities, for people to come in and rent in that area, and it's huge. But really fast, before I forget, you talked about like the biking trails and stuff down through Adidas and how it's grown. There's a ton of bikeability in North Portland. I mean, that is one area, everywhere in Portland is bikeable, but North Portland has really taken that on. I mean, people are really carless up there in a lot of those communities in these little quadrants of North Portland.
Yeah, so nice save. Nice save. A lot of people bike, yes. A lot of people scooter as well. And it'd probably take about 15 minutes to scooter from St. John's to Kenton. Not too bad. If you were somewhere in the middle there, you have super easy access to the Alberta Arts District, the Mississippi. A lot of people don't connect the dots that we're only a mile away from all these.
Yes.
And they're looking at these really expensive places, and not only expensive, but very competitive because you're not the only one who wants to be right in the mix of those hotspot areas, but this could serve to be a really good alternative, and you actually pad your investment because of the rentability factor. Different hotter spots might rent for a high amount now, but what if they don't become hot? And there's no baseline foundation to your investment. When you have a world headquarters of a international company like Adidas and a top-ranking nursing school, those aren't going anywhere.
No.
So I like that from an investment standpoint. Additionally, the appreciation is chapters behind all the other hot areas. So you're getting in early, which means your values will increase quicker.
Yes.
Not guaranteed, obviously, but it's a nice play on the Monopoly board. That you're right. It's just being so close to Mississippi and those Alberta Art District areas, people don't imagine.
No, they don't. That's
Max line too.
You look up North Portland, and that's kind of, people are like, oh, I want to live in North Mississippi. I want to be in, Alberta Arts, because you've got those, First Thursday, those street parties, you've got the bars, you've got, the tap houses, you've got the entertainment, and you do have some great places to eat and, entertainment up further, up the street a mile in North Portland, St. John's, Kenton, Portsmouth, all of that. But people kind of get stuck in that mix of that urban walkability right there in North Mississippi. It's so expensive. It's ridiculous. So I love that we're going further north. Let's talk about Portsmouth and kind of that little Columbia area. I love that area. And this is your hood. Like, this is where you're living. And during the pandemic working because you worked from home. So I think it's really important. When I first started showing homes in North Portland, I'm not going to lie, I had a really hard time. I was like, I found the riffraff. I was in like the kind of that riffraff area of Kenton, And you're like, no, go here, go there. I mean, you really directed me to understand North Portland. And there's just this huge block around that Columbia Park that I am in love with. And now I can't wait to show homes and show what's up there in North Portland. So can we kind of talk about that pocket? Because I think it's amazing right there.
Columbia Park puts you right in the middle of really where Kenton, in between Kenton and University of Portland. And that's where my wife and I live. If you are really into kind of walking your dog up to a big park with mature Douglas fir trees that are higher than the eye can see and walking trails, this is the like known Portland Park style, like huge blocks of which the city is really retained and prioritized not sacrificing during the growth period. Now, the thing to understand though is what determines price a lot in North Portland is what street you're on. Are you on a through street or are you on a quiet street? So you're going to see real prices ranging between the $450 to $599 on standard for a 3-2. If you're seeing something under $500, it's mainly because it's on a busier street. Now, if it's above it, it's on 1 or 2 blocks off the park or a through street. The positive thing is they're putting a lot of money into these through streets and adding speed bumps, which is slowing things down. So unless you're on Lombard, which I would not suggest, or Columbia, which you don't want to be too close to, those through streets actually might serve to not be through streets in the near future. But that's the real determiner on the price. Why you'll see big discrepancies on the same 3-2 at $450 comparatively to $599. Location, corners, quiet, right?
Yep, exactly.
That's my real take on Columbia Park. I really love being there. I would say too, North Willis is another spot where it turns to be a little bit mixed. So you're going to have some affordable apartment and mixed community centers the further north you go up in it. So you do want to really get a grasp for where you're buying on location, because you can be a few blocks and it might be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser and you turn another corner. But this is kind of the sacrifice we make if you're wanting to get into appreciation opportunity rather than a hotspot and pay for something that's already popular. Now, one of the downsides, though, to North Portland is it's not a great family spot. If you're dependent on really good schools like K through 12, it's just not there, right?
It's not there,
You're the mom, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely the public school system in that little area, it suffers. Obviously different parts of, Portland, there's different diversity. There is some, lower income homes and families in that area. And I feel like a lot of their extra resources in the schools are helping out those families, which is fantastic and good. But some of the schools struggle, definitely. A lot of it, that's hard. I think that they're working on it and it's going to be growing and that area is going to become more popular. But yeah, like elementary school, junior high, high school. I mean, there are other better options in Portland, but a lot of people are buying into this area and then they're doing private school for their kids.
Another thing I do like about the North Portland area is there's actually there's a lot of different styles of architecture, because you're going to see 1940s, 50s bungalows. Right. You're going to see a little bit of 60s, 70s here and there. You're going to see full-size lots still that have not been split, but then you're going to see a lot of stuff built in the last 5 to 8 years that's brand new. Now they're going to split the lots and you're going to have half the size. That's what my wife and I bought. But there are ways that you can turn a smaller lot into something very workable and low maintenance, and that is a fit for me, because some people call it.
He has turf grass. Everybody, he does not have real grass here in the Pacific Northwest. He made it.
Well, I liked mowing for like 2 weekends, and then
you're like, I'm over it. I'm jealous of your turf grass. I'm not. I just
low maintenance is
I
nice.
love it,
and I would say too. One of the bigger things I like about the newer builds is some of them are allowing for that overhang, a patio cover.
Yes.
Now, you're going to have to pay for it. It would totally be an upgrade, or you'd have to do it after you bought something. But that overhead, if you've got a patio overhang, it rains here. It's the Pacific Northwest. So you will have a better experience with your overall livability of your property on a smaller lot if you've got a patio cover.
Yes,
That's the
100%.
number one investment, in my opinion, that you can do for just making that whole October to April, that's a little grayer, a little sprinklier, more usable. You don't feel contained in the home if you have a cover.
And to be honest, like new construction is just now finally getting to, like, they're finally opened their eyes and like, hey, I should build a back patio cover. Like, it's amazing to me that that's just really a recent thing that they understood.
I've been saying that for a while.
Now,
I know.
I have to bring this up about North Portland. Aesthetically, I love the homes, the new mixed with the old, the bungalows, the, you know, the mid-centuries. Like, it's all charming and they all have personalities. And that's what I love. Like, you think about Portland and you think about these homes and what you kind of envision Portland, and that's what you're getting in North Portland. I mean,
you'll see those like what often you see in the Southeast, that people fall in love with, that like Hawthorne style, with the front porch and the half wraparound, beautiful homes. You'll see those there.
Yeah.
They're there. And then you'll see skinny talls where there's brand new construction. Then you'll see 895 square foot bungalows with a 600 square foot basement, but a lot of those have been converted and updated, and now you've got 1,600 square feet. So just because you can't really judge a house now with a lot of the updates and the conversions, but the parks and getting onto a good corner and the stability of the university as well, the Adidas, is just a really great spot. My only suggestion too, if you come to Portland and you're touring North Portland, don't take the Lombard exit. Yeah. The Lombard exit, there's a lot going on. It's a central max location that you can conveniently get downtown, but it is, the locals call it the corner of crazy and crazy. You don't want to take that exit. It's the most aesthetically, it's the worst looking exit on I-5 from Vancouver end to downtown Portland. If I'm coming northbound on I-5, I take the Rosa Park exit. It is beautiful and it's a nice little run and it takes you along that beautiful bluff. And that is just to your point earlier, like you could take one different exit that no local ever takes, but Google Maps tells you to, and you have a totally different perception of what your lifestyle would actually be.
I have that. And you're like, you're taking the wrong exit.
You're doing it wrong.
I did. I was doing it wrong, and now
like
I love
Mom.
it. And I'm not gonna lie, Portland, that's my favorite place to sell homes. I just love it. It's so gorgeous up there. You can get so much for your money. There's so much opportunity.
It's catching on. I mean, to give you some examples, like people in my neighborhood, a lot of these listed 440, 475, 499 are all going at 525, 550, 560. They're going because people are catching on.
They are catching on. And those people coming in is just going to bring more value to the neighborhoods. They're going to be putting their money into the community. You're going to start to see the schools, more money and families moving into the area. That's going to go towards the schools. Like that's kind of how it starts. And so it's a really good time to get in.
Well, and let's round it out with St. John's.
Yes. St. John, you come over the St. John's Bridge. I know you already talked about it once. Look it up, you guys. It's gorgeous. You guys had your engagement photos on that bridge and at the park, right?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So I love it. And it's really cute. You've got a great little downtown area. You've got restaurants, entertainment,
breweries, pizza, burgers, Italian, Sparrow Bakeries, which is like Sparrow Bakery. It's originated in Central Oregon. Now there's one here that's a really hot spot. A Burgerville, which is a big thing for a lot of locals. A Burgerville's right there.
We do have In-N-Outs now in Oregon, but if you're local, you go to Burgerville.
Right.
Like In-N-Out doesn't got anything on Burgerville.
It's super charming in the sense that it feels like time stops in a good way. Like there's really been not a lot of facelifting from an architectural standpoint. Yeah. So it's very it's just frozen.
It's got like historic charm.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And below the bridge, you're going to have a lot of common festivals during the summer. You're going to have a blues fest, a local Black Lives Matters gathering. They do a food miniature kind of bite. Food festival.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
That is super cool. It's almost like, because downtown Portland traditionally has those weekly festivals and they're big and it's a movement and it's an event to get down there and park. You're going to get like 1/10 of that in the St. John's version of it, which is super cool. It's like easier to get up there, but there's still this energy, and it's like an amazing backdrop with the bridge. You can get right down to the water, beautiful walking areas for the dogs, and that's a cool spot. That is a really neat spot. Buying a home there is a little bit trickier because there's a lot of different corners.
There is. And that's why you need to talk with somebody that's what I love about being on a team with you, is that that's your hood, that's your area, and you actually help me maneuver. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I call you to ask you about certain things because you know that area, and I know the area very well, but I still have questions, and there's certain points that you want to go to, and then there's parts that you don't want to pass. So it's really important to really know where you're at.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for. Like, you'll text me all the time, what about this house? And I'm looking it up on maps, and I will give my instant feedback. And it's actually changed over the last 2.5 years. There's certain areas that 2.5 years ago, I was like, I wouldn't advise buying there, and then now they're starting to turn around, and there a lot of homes have been restored and polished up, if you will. One note is, if you're looking at the North Portland map, take note of where the train tracks are, because you'll see trains running on the North Columbia and actually down through between the Portsmouth and the St. John's area, and going to the waterfront of the Willamette. And that's a cargo station, and in and out. Now, the closer you get to those train tracks, the louder and less desirable it is. So there really is a balance, and you need to know where you're looking at. But just a basic map, you can see where those train tracks go, and it's important to know that you're not too close there, because you don't want a howling whistle every.
Yeah. I like
so that's my take there. But once again, if you are even considering coming here, we always encourage you to set up that initial Zoom call with us so we can talk to you about these things from a local perspective. We're going to be transparent, right, Leslie?
We're super candid. You guys are relying on us. We're living and working in these neighborhoods. Everybody on our team lives in a different quadrant of the city. So we definitely have the resources and knowledge of these areas, and most of us born and raised here. So just set up those initial, Zoom calls to have a conversation. We want to learn about you. We want to help answer your questions. Everybody's got different questions. Everybody's looking for a different type of neighborhood vibe. What fits? What are you looking for right now? What is your plan, your short-term plan, your long-term plans? We want to just talk about that so we can help guide you guys in the right way.
Priorities, timeline, budget.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to go through all those things with you as a human, not a robot. And I think we're pretty fun to talk to.
I know,
at least
we are.
Entertain the living.
You never know what's going to come out sometimes.
Well, and everyone too, this is what we do. So all we focus on every single day is helping viewers like yourself get here to the Pacific Northwest. All we do is relocate families from all across the United States. And we, as Jackson would say, we absolutely love it. We truly do. This is our lifestyle. This is what we specialize in. And Heather and I cannot wait for you to reach out and set up that meeting with us.
Absolutely.
Truly mean that.
Yeah. And whether you're looking to buy today, whether you're 3 years down the road, it's never too early. I mean, we are working with people that are years down the road, and we're helping them, learn about the different areas and really dial them in. And, they have questions. We want to be that resource.
We got answers.
I mean, we had somebody call us asking where they should go get Thai food because,
Or the best marijuana store.
You did have that, yes.
I've had that.
Where do I get my weed?
It's like anywhere. There's
every
just
corner.
as many
No, I'm just
green
joking, not every
shops
corner.
as 7-Elevens here.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's conclude the show. I think this was a good episode about North Portland. It's deep to my heart because I live here. Just note that I can answer all those questions and use a local team. It's so important to know these areas and what's going to work best based on your needs and lifestyle desires.
Exactly. I like it. Well, until next time, you guys.
We'll catch you later.